Hey all, 118 Set Shadow here. We're in the week of the sneak preview for DivineZ 4 Destined Showdown. So, starting Friday, if you're up to get your Levidres and Paldos or anything like that, just be aware the sneak preview is coming up. While I'm not confirmed on this, I haven't really seen any place to confirm it, and Bushiroad never really posts these sneak preview promos anymore. From what I have heard, the sneak preview promo this time is not a card, it's a custom energy marker with the main character here along with Levidres. That's what I've heard so far, but we'll find out the day of, and if anyone else can confirm if that's the case, because I only remember just seeing someone post it on Facebook somewhere, and so if anyone else can confirm that's the case, feel free. Right now, when it comes to pre-orders on the actual product, though, again, it's as you would typically expect of pre-sales. MSRP of boxes is still going to be in the $40 range, but pre-order prices are around $60 right now, while the case is currently $1,010 and packs are $7. Now, this will end the current MSRP for any main set boxes from now on for Cardfight Vanguard. The MSRP is going up again with set 5, just as a reminder. One thing to keep an eye out for, particularly if you're going to play Impaldo for Brantgate, because that's something I'm going to be looking at, is to keep your eye on Habitual Zone. Given that the deck wants to put cards into the drop as much as possible for Gauge, given this cycler, you'll be able to empty out your soul into the drop, although then this card puts itself back into deck, so that is a trade-off, and you won't get as many cards in the drop, but it is an option. Right now, Habitual Zone is available for about $12 to pick up. If you want to go for the FFR, there is a low listing of 30 on that one with 6 listings that are currently on the market. The cycler for Lyrical Monasterio, Valshblon. These are the original Soul Blast cyclers that I'm talking about, not the Energy Blast cyclers. Valshblon is currently at a low of about $12.50. This is the reprint that we got with the most recent DivineZ lyrical set, Sparkling Stars. The original that comes out of Festival 2023 currently has a low price of $20, but less listings than the reprint at this point. So right now, you can pick up this card for under $20 easily. But if you're trying to max rarity it at $125 for the FFR, that's a big increase, of course, compared to what's available on the market. But again, this is max rarity, and I don't think we're getting any other variants of it. One of the other generics you can get out of Sparkling Stars, a Little Demonic Method Valver. I have heard of it being used for premium, and so despite that, we still have a lot of listings on the market for this one, but this is still currently the most valuable triple R to pick up from Sparkling Stars. 39 listings on the triple rare at almost $14.50 for the base. It's actually matched with the market price right now. Which, honestly, the silver rare currently has a listing at $15, which is not too far away. I'm actually curious if that keeps no, it doesn't. The actual low listing, if you don't consider shipping, is $16.75, so it's actually closer to $17. But even so, there are 2 listings plus that $15 one, all basically being $17 versus $14.50. So if you're willing to pay the extra $3, the silver rare is the better bet. And then the FFR, of course, has a much bigger gap between them at $60 plus for its base copies. There are 7 listings on the FFR. As for the FR of Mermaid Idol Ellie, which is the first encounter perfect card that we've had for Lyrical Monasterio, this is currently at 8 listings starting at $9.40 and sold all right. We've had 95 total sells in the last 3 months, which technically is, of course, the last month because the set hasn't even been out for a month yet. Right now, we're looking at $9.40 for the base price, and it moves up to $11 later on. There is consolidation at around $11 right now, and anything lower than that only has 1 to 2 copies. Despite the additional news that we've been getting for new support, the Flem Glam series is not getting that much hype. Rogia, which is the boss unit of this series, is still really cheap to pick up with a market price of 80 cents-ish. And the one thing I do want to point out, though, is that there are 19 listings left, and there's been a pickup in sales in the last month. So overall, the market price has seen a trend upward, but it's still cheap to pick up, so there just isn't that much hype for it at this point. And consolidation-wise, it's closer to $1.51 to pick up if you want to get multiple copies. Prism Promise Labrador is still holding at a decent valuation. While it's been moving pretty well, the market price has stayed relatively the same in the $5 range. There are 27 listings of this card available, and currently we're looking at least $3.50 to pick them up. But consolidation-wise, no heavy consolidation, but there are listings with full playsets that are available when you get to $4 on this card. Labrador is still a decent option, especially given that we have the Yumi no Kesho Cup going on right now. And speaking of the Yumi no Kesho Cup, the listings for the alternate arts and alternate triggers of Rose and Poppy are now available on TCG Player, except there are no listings at this point. From what I have heard, the heal trigger of Rose was only made available at a particular expo or in Europe. And then when it comes to Poppy, that's the one that's available in America right now for the Yumi no Kesho Cup for certain. I don't believe we have Rose at all in America right now. If you want to pick up the originals, though, Rose and Poppy as crit and heal respectively, those are not too bad right now. There are 10 listings on Rose, 17 listings on Poppy, and both of them have market prices underneath $3 and $2 respectively. A little insight into what's happening with the special energy tokens from Festival 2024. Now Inab is still the most expensive one on the market, not surprising, but also it hasn't had any real sales for quite a while. And honestly, even from its initial release, the number of sales has not been that high. 26 copies have sold overall in the last 3 months, and the latest sale has been closer to $249, even though the market price is $308. In terms of listings that are available right now, they're going for as low as $235, and there is a little bit of consolidation of this card around $280, but not that much. An energy marker that has been seeing some sales, though, is the one for Masanori Iseki, who is Zoros Player. So we've seen a little bit of a pickup in sales recently, and this card has sold at least 48 copies. Right now, we've seen a sale as high as $200 when it comes to the most recent one as well. But the market price on this one is $71, and right now there's only one listing on the market at $180. Interesting to see. Steam Battler Gan Ram is still holding at a pretty decent valuation despite its reprints. If you want the original from Genesis of the Five Greats, Set 1, that's currently just above $350 to pick up, but a market price of almost $5. And the Father Neil reprint is over $4 right now with a lower market price. The Festival 2023 reprint apparently got bought out, and now there's only one listing at $20, but the SP that also comes out of Set 1 has a low listing of $23.50-ish and has 11 listings. So if you feel like Gan Ram is actually going to get bought out at this point, the SP is definitely going to keep the lower ones from getting much higher. There's no real point buying into the Festival reprint when you can just buy the SP for a little bit higher. Despite the fact that Shoujo Doji has been showing to be the player's choice for meta pick in the BCS, the deck's different cards are just so low in value right now, and they're actually dropping. Stealth Dragon Ogijiski is an example of this, which just came out of Dimensional Transcendence, DivineZ 3, and DivineZ 3 has been a really boring set in terms of overall value. Many of the triple rares just don't have any significant value on them, or even if they do, they have a fair amount of listings to the point where you don't tend to have to worry about buyouts until much later. Okijishiki is available for as low as $2 right now with 23 listings, and the number of quantities sold has been dropping off along with the market price. However, one thing to keep in mind is that of the listings that are on the low end here, and I mean that is a lot of them, there aren't many copies among the individual sellers that are available. So if you need to pick up multiple copies of them, you'll have to go through multiple sellers, effectively making this a $2 to $3 card, even though it's more of a $2 card. Stealth Dragon Unprecedented was seeing a buyout some time back given Shoujo Doji's support, but it seems that it's been dropping off recently, and sales have been picking up with the last month, but at the same time, the sales pricing has been seeing a bit of a decline. We've been seeing them sell for the $20 range, and right now the market price is closer to $23, but we have 18 listings available that are all on the low end of $20, and they consolidate at $22. So with more copies back on the market and Shoujo Doji going down in value, it's anyone's guess as to what will happen. If Shoujo Doji continues to top, it will be surprising to see this deck's staples continue to just see declines. I'm aware that Izasao got a restriction in Japan. However, that restriction has not followed through on the foreign competitive scene. So if you're wondering about that, the BCS will still allow Shoujo Doji its full power. Shiranui as well, outside of the overtrigger. Then there's Drag Ritter Fallheart, the energy cycler for Dragon Empire. Given that for the BCS tournament, three of the most prominent decks, three of the favorite decks of this set are all Dragon Empire, it's actually pretty surprising it took this long for Fallheart to rise as high as it has. The triple rare now has a base price of $40, and the market price has risen all the way to about $36.50, while the silver rare has a market price of around $34, but it's been bought out to the point of $52 and only has 4 listings available. However, the FFR is still available for as low as $54, and that one has a market price of $80. Dragon Empire has notoriously been a little bit boring in terms of wanting to pick up. We know Cater Sanctuary has been the big hype train when it comes to a lot of the generics, but that has actually been dropping off as of recently. And now, the FFR right now has listings from 54 to 55 in its first 3 listings. And the same for the silver rare from $53-ish to $60. So either we're going to see the SR drop back off while the FFR holds steady, but given the market price of the FFR is $80, I would actually anticipate it would go up instead. Elbar X Striker, which is also from Festival 2023, just saw a buyout where I'm guessing players are considering to play this in Impaldo. Right now it does get played in Dayusha as well. There are 3 listings on the market for this triple rare, and sales have been picking up with the last month, although they haven't been as heavy as August and July have. $15.38 is the current market price, and the latest sale was $20, which is also the high sale. The only available quantities, there are 3 in total, and they're all at least $50. There's been some movement on some of the encounters from the original Vanguard series, so I wanted to take a look at some of these. Phantom Blaster Overlord from the original set 5 currently has a market price of around $8, and the base listing is getting close to that too. Not too many sales, but we have seen a progressive increase in the market price from a low of around $5.50 for the last several months. In terms of availability, no heavy consolidation. The heaviest is on the top end at about $15, but we have a few copies available from $8 to $10. Majesty Lord Blaster has 24 listings available right now, with the lowest listing available at $4, and then from there on we have it more so around $5. So it's still very easy to pick up, and interestingly enough, there is no data. I wonder why. Let me just make sure here. Yeah, there is actual sales data, so I guess it's a problem with TCG Player's APIs. Anyway, we have been seeing sales in October for $5 to almost $8 for this card. So there is an uptrend on this one as well. And given that we still haven't gotten Blaster Blade the Vanguard yet, if you want to play this deck, I would probably pick your copies up now in case we do get the announcement. The SP of the original Dragonic Overlord is still holding around a market price of $10, but it's been having more high-rated sales around $18 to $20 now. And in terms of available listings, $19 seems to be the new overall low. There's a $15 listing that's listed as lightly played. And in terms of what's available now, or what's been selling, over the end of September and the beginning of October, we've seen sales from $16 to $20. Not sure what's been happening there, but there is some anticipation of Dragonic Overlord coming back as well. Probably not in main force, but probably at least as a fun deck. But a big one, and to wrap up our Market Watch for today, is Blaster Dark. Blaster Dark's SP is now at 3 listings, and they're available for as low as $70 for a near mint copy, and this guy also has a full playset, while the next one is $125 plus a $5 shipping tag. Don't know what's been happening with the sales data, but if I check... So they've been selling for $24, and the highs have been selling for $50. Very interesting to see, because I don't remember any specific Shadow Paladin support other than the new Undercover support. And even then, well, there hasn't been any new boss unit for Blasters outside of that one promo that came out, but that's more of a support card. In any case, yeah, Blaster Dark got bought out, so just keep that in mind. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.